warm. I don't know what part of the United States you're in, but today we were lucky. It was about 25 degrees, and but tomorrow it's going to fall into the single digits again. So I hope that you stay warm and safe, stay in your home. If you are new to the channel, Echo Art with Carmella-T, we create with our recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies, and it's our way to give the earth a little hug. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. You know, I had a viewer share with me a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful picture of a rug and she was inspired with the circles, the mandala blanket here. So I'm sitting on it. I'm going to bring it forward here. So, you know, I made this many years ago. And with the idea at that time to have all the chakra colors in it. And it does. It has all the chakra colors in it. But it also may have other colors in it or variations of them. So this is what we're working on. And you notice with this one, we have a lot of really big mandalas. So we'll get into those too. I learned a lot when I was making these because, and I give you tips as we go along. So one of the tips is if you use tight stitches in the beginning of your mandala or your circle, or your chakra meditation, and then you use looser stitches or bigger stitches like double crochet or triple crochet or whatever, you may get it may become very, very floppy going around the center. So you can get things like that as you switch your stitches. Either you can use these variations in tension to create like ripples, you know. Now, with the weather and with the holidays, the days seem to be flying right now because I have some other projects and things going on, and they're flying. So it's been several days before I've been on here, but since I've been on here. So let me share with you. I've got these colors, the red, orange, yellow, the variation of the green, and I didn't think I had any blue. And then I was teaching class the other night, I realized because green is here, so we'll go over the colors, the chakra colors. The red is right down the bottom here in the pelvis area, and then right above that is your orange. So the red is your protection and safety, and your orange is your inspiration and motivation. Your yellow is your solar plexus area here, and that's empowerment, enlightenment, you know. So as you're crocheting, these are things you think about, or, you know, pray on, or what's on your heart. And so then the green is here. It is your heart area. It is your compassion, your forgiveness, your gratitude, your thankfulness, all of those wonderful, wonderful things. Some of these things are difficult. Now, the next one is here, the throat chakra, right here. And I happen to have, now I gotta tell you, before I came up here, I literally gave 3 bins, and I mean huge, of yarn away. I gave it away because I didn't think I had room for it. And this is all that I have, is this little basket. But guess what's in the basket? Light blue, which is actually the throat chakra. So what's the throat chakra mean? It means speaking truth with kindness, speaking truth in alignment with goodness of your spirit. Okay, that's the meditation, you know, to speak. It's speaking truth, but not to speak truth where you're hurting someone. You know, you've heard people say, oh, I'm brutally honest, and they say things that just knock the socks off the other person, really hurt their feelings. So with mindfulness and meditation and whatnot, you kind of, you know, are kind about what it is that is truth, your truth. Basically, it's your truth. It's your inner truth. It's your soul truth. It's your spiritual truth. So it's a truth that you live with every single day of your life and that you integrate into your life. So the throat chakra, guess what? This is 100% wool. This is one of those I got at the thrift shop. And you know, this is why I do check the thrift shop for yarns, because there's other artists just like me. They're like, oh, I don't want that anymore. And it's like, they know that what they don't want is someone else's treasure. The other evening in our class, needle felting class, we had some wonderful, talented students, artists, artisans. And one of them was extremely generous, gifting and sharing wool. Now, wool is expensive nowadays, raw wool, and especially dyed raw wool, and that's what she had. But as an artist, and she's been an artist many, many years, this is just one sector of her supplies that she's getting rid of. So she was giving it to other artists who were absolutely just so happy to get that, and then donated the rest to the organization, which was just wonderful. Hi, Miles and Tyler. Hi. How are you guys? I hope everyone's doing well. So this is the one we're going to start with. And I'm not going to go continue this mandala. I'm going to start a new mandala with the bright blue, with the throat chakra. Because then the next color up, and it just so happens, I don't know, there is kind of, I think I do have a purplish in here. There's kind of purplish in this, but this is, you can see the maroon, and then it goes to purple. So I'm going to put this to the side for the minute. I don't have much of any of these, and I plan to work on that to get. But look, because you have the light blue here for your throat chakra, and then the next one is indigo right here. It's indigo and then violet. So now so with that said, indigo is your navy blue. See here. And no, I guess I do not have any navy blue. Okay, so this does have some navy blue. It does. You see the blue? You see it. So it's mixed. So that might be an idea. But this is a violet. This is wool, 100% wool. So these are I am not crazy about using the wool. Okay, I know a blanket, it's nice to have wool, but this wool is, but you know, I'm doing this for the show, for the channel. So it's not like I'm selling it, but I would say to you, if you're going to make a blanket with the idea of selling it or gifting, I gift most of my things. Like earlier this year when I moved here, I gifted one of my neighbors with a granny square blanket that I had made about a year ago. And I felt like she needed it, and or just to try to make her, you know, happy. And so I gifted that. It gives me great feeling to gift something, but that was all soft. It was all acrylic. If it was wool, like this one I'm making, these wool, like I'm making them now like for the channel with you, but I may go through all of my mandalas when it's all said and done and take the ones out I feel are too rough. Okay, so this is acrylic, and oh, these are two different yarns. Okay, so we're going to start with the blue. We'll do blue and purple. These mandalas do not have to be huge. You can make them huge, but you can also, I have some small ones in this blanket for connecting. I wanted to, or maybe I didn't too on this blanket, but I like to do things like this, like, you know, make them the pretty fringes and whatnot. Okay, let me start. Let me start crocheting. Okay, so I am using a medium weight wool, and I am using a J or K. Let's see what this one is. This is J. Okay, a J or K is fine, and really any size that you want. And the way you start for your mandala, now I do just kind of want to throw this out there too. There are, you know, the granny square hat I made, you know, I made this like a couple of years ago. Oh, hi, unauthorized. Yes, thank you for being here, thank you. The text goes away quickly, but I made this hat. So these are granny squares. You can make a granny square blanket with like 50 granny square. You can make mandalas and granny squares. You can make granny squares that have mandalas in them. In other words, circle in a square. So if that's something you're interested in, we could do that too. Okay, but tonight, for now, we'll get a handle on the mandala. So what you're going to do is chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're simply going to do a slip stitch and connect that. Okay, now choose whatever kind of stitch you want. If you want to do a single, half double crochet, double crochet. I love double crochet. I don't know what it is about it. I do. I just love it. Now they say if you're going to do the double crochets, just chain 3 first. 1, 2, 3, and then your next one. And that's just for tension. I have chained 1 and done double crochet in the next space. It's been totally fine. So I am going to do a chain. We're going to keep it super simple, and I'm going to go in the next space and do a double crochet. Chain 1. Let me know if you're interested in wanting to learn specifically how to do the stitches. I assume that people are knowing or learning the single and the double crochets. Like I feel like they learn them on their own, but there may be people who actually, you know, need help with that. And especially if you're beginning. When you're beginning, sometimes it's just getting oriented to the concept of what crocheting is and how it works. And once you get that, boy, you've got that. I mean, you are on the run. Okay, so now we completed the circle already, and all I did was chain a 1 and double crochet all the way around. So this is, I think somebody was unauthorized, if I'm remembering correctly. I realize now that you were commenting probably on the throat chakra. And when I pray, like I was saying, I don't know if I said this on YouTube, but when earlier I was on another platform today and talking about us coming over here and talking about doing the chakra meditation. So this is what I believe. For me, okay, I'm not a preacher, but in my life, I'm 66 and a half years old, and I pray to Jesus, I talk to Jesus, and I walk with Jesus, and I walk his way, period. To know me, if I'm going to mention him, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to mention him because he is so much a part of my life. He is my life, right? He is truth. Now, I use the chakra meditation because it helps me focus on, it's just the rhythm of, and the cues. Like I like to talk and think and reflect and meditate on all different areas of my life. It doesn't have to be when something happens. So the chakra helps me do that because it's the red talks about safety and protection. And I like to pray for people, not just myself. I don't pray for just myself. It's just like my artwork. I don't do that just for myself. If I can't share my artwork, it's probably, it's meaningless. I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding you. I have to be able to share. So anyway, with the blue, speaking truth is very difficult for a lot of people. And I don't know why, because for other people, yes, it's very simple. It's what's on your, it's the truth. You don't have to conjure up anything. You don't have to hide anything. You don't have to pretend anything. It's the truth. You got to trust that you will come out okay when you stay on the side of truth. Okay? Now, so speaking what you're thinking is like a huge thing. A lot of people sometimes won't and sometimes can't and find that difficult for whatever reason. So it's just a really good, the throat chakra is a really good one to meditate on when you're talking about your feelings, emotions, your words, your actions, all in alignment with your heart and your life and what's on your heart and how you want your life to be. Okay, now right here, what I should do is a slip stitch. You can do, okay, right here, when you're coming to the end of your round, there's a couple things you can do. You can just continue, which is the thing to do. Or you can close the round with a slip stitch. When you come to the end of the round, you have that choice, because then your circle is closed and it's a circle, and then you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, let me now get a different color. You can do it like that, or you can just do your double crochet, and whoops, I didn't do that, sorry. You can do your double crochet and then just add your different color, which I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to cut this. And I don't have much of this. Look, what would be really pretty, yes, is this is like such a dark pink. It's it might work nicely. Look, I also just realized I have this type of orange too. It's a dull type of orange, but I have this too. This is Angora. So I'm going to hold off on that one because I do have more of this orange. So I do have a few different types of oranges there. But I'm going to use the purple because I do think it's pretty. And I'm just going to... So what you do when you're starting or continuing your stitch is just loop that yarn right onto your hook, and then just continue with making your double crochet. And if you find that confusing, just go slow and take a good look at it and just go step by step. So I am just simply continuing double crochet and a chain. Now this is the purple. So we're kind of skipping. The indigo is here. This is the navy blue, is your third eye. That's where you have your visions, you have your dreams, your intuitive self will see things with the third eye. It's not like you're seeing things, but you see it strongly with your third eye. You're highly functioning. Your vibes are very high. You know what I mean? In a very natural, beautiful way. And so the So that's your indigo, but up here, your chakra, your violet, your crown chakra, that's more related to divine, divinity, divine. You may be accessing the divine dimension, the heavenly and celestial dimensions. You may get messages. You may get clarity. You may get insight. You may get blessings that you're really noticing that you didn't notice before. Because the blessings that we get, many times people miss them because they're not fully aware that they're living in a blessing and that they've gotten a blessing in their life. So anyway, that's all my opinion. I'm just saying what I know, what I experienced through my life. So, because I've had times where when I got clarity or insight, I could see and really appreciate and have much gratitude for something that I'm like, why couldn't I see this before? This is wonderful. This is a blessing. Now, right here, this is starting to pull. You see how it starts to kind of curve a teeny tiny bit? So what that's telling me, so I could just kind of go back a couple because it's right at the beginning, or I could just leave it, but started to pull right here. So right here, I'm thinking, okay, I probably need to do some double crochets in each space. And that allows your mandala to stay flat. That allows your circle to stay flat. So I am now doing 2 double crochets and a chain. And I gotta tell you, I'm loving this. You know what? I did not show you guys the little tiny, I don't think I showed you the little tiny garden pieces of flower pot decor that I made. I'm gonna get them. And I'm gonna get them now, because if I don't get them now, I may forget. So one of these you may have already seen, and yeah, you probably already saw this one. This is very simplistic, but it's a little art piece, just driftwood and little pieces of wood, sticks, okay? But check this out, and we'll get right back to the crochet. Check this out. This little ladder, this goes into a flower pot. Is this just not adorable? I don't know if I showed this to you or not. Anyway, this is, you can call it a branch art, like they do at the homespot.com, HomeSpot on YouTube. This is not anything that's a novelty or brand new creation. Branch art, yes, it's been around forever, but it's just the idea, you know, that you can make these tiny little pieces for your flower pot. And you know what else you could do with this? You could crochet around a little ladder like this. You can make the little ladder out of the branches and do a little crocheting around it. So it's just an idea for some flower pot decor. So, okay, back to our crochet. So, the wonderful thing about crochet is that you can put it down, you can pick it back up. So what we started to do was 2 double crochets in each space. And look at how pretty this is. Now, I'm going to tell you, you probably already know this, but when you switch your yarns and one yarn is thicker or thinner, so the yarn weight is different, or it's like this, different, because this is Angora. When you switch it, what happens is it really adds texture, like automatically. It just adds just another dimension automatically to your crocheting. It just does. And you know, the same with the colors, but between the colors and the different yarn weights, and you know, you can even crochet ribbon, you know that? You can mix these. And you're probably saying, well, Carmella, no, you can't, because then when you go wash it, you know, the cotton string or the nylon ribbon is going to pull, and then the acrylic's going to be This is the thing. When you make and sell items that are crocheted with mixed yarns, you always want to say, spray with tepid water and air dry, dab it and air dry, or hand wash in tepid water. So when people start to add detergents and you have an organic fabric in there, detergent, for example, to wool is really detrimental. It really is. I mean, when I do my wet felting, I don't like to add the detergent. I don't like to add it at all. In ancient wet felting, they did not add detergent. They just used cold water and then the agitation. So what I'm trying to say is your organics will respond in a healthy manner to being sprinkled with water and then dabbed and then air dry, or sprayed with water, tepid water, not hot, not cold, just, you know. So you can make a blanket if you make it all wool, and let's say you've got organic cotton in there and silk or whatever, like that. And just give the instructions, or, you know, if you're giving it away. The nice thing about acrylics is, yes, you can put them in a gentle cycle, and they'll most likely will be okay. I don't even like really putting acrylics in the gentle cycle, because they're fibers that are spun. So, but they have, you know, acrylic synthetic, polyester, this kind of thing. You know, so, and they're going to last forever, which is why, if we can deter from putting them in the landfill, it's wonderful. You know, if you can recycle. None of this stuff, when I, as an artist, and you know this is what this channel is all about, is recycling. Recycling, sharing, gifting, giving, continuing the life of whatever it is. We don't want these to end up in the landfill, because then that is adding to the toxins in the air that we are breathing. And because a lot of these acrylics or whatnot have the chemical breakdowns, and those disseminate into the air, creating toxins that you and I are breathing. And I don't mean just a little pile of them. I'm talking about landfills miles and miles and miles long and hundreds of feet high. Very serious. So whatever we can do to share. And the last place I live, I gifted my neighbor. She wanted to crochet some things, and I gifted her with a bunch of yarn. And all together, I had given away 3 bins. So that's why I only have this little basket. But we will be doing some scouting and searching for our, so we can get our mandala blanket together. So if anyone's out there crocheting, so I had a viewer, like I said, she said she was inspired by the mandalas that we're making for the blanket, and she's crocheting a rug, a mandala, a rug. So mandalas are the circles of meditation, and no, they don't have to be chakra colors. You can design them any way that you want. You can, and I have a book on mandalas. Oh, I can't show you the book though on YouTube. I can't like show you the book. Um, anyway, I do have a book on mandalas and the different types that are or can be made. Now they make them with sand. You can make them with sand. You can make them with fabric. You know, make them crocheting or knitting. Make them with well, I have one right here, don't I? My Boro Sashiko. My fabric. Let's see if I can. This is a mandala too. This is a sun, but it's a mandala. Let's see. If I have, yeah, here it is. This is our Boro Sashiko mandala. I'm holding it the right way. That I made years ago now at this point. You see all the stitching. I'm going to be doing more pieces like this again very soon. Very, very soon. And I've just got some projects that I need to bring to completion. And then I can focus, as I have a number of projects I am lining up. So, and I'll share them with you as we go along. So, you know, in the art world, the projects are endless. Sharing in the community, creating your pieces for fundraisers. I would like to make, this blanket, okay, look, this blanket, I, like I said to you, personally, I really do not want the wool yarn in this blanket. So if in a blanket that I would donate, let's put it that way, or I would sell or I would give away. Now, having said that, wool is an extremely incredible, strong and warm fiber. It's super, super warm, as you know. I had a couple of sheep, and I had them for a good number of years too. And Sweet Pea and Rugsby, and I miss Sweet Pea immensely. Rugsby passed early on. I don't know, he got pneumonia, and the vet couldn't do anything for him for some reason. Sweet Pea was fine. Her coat was so thick. It was unbelievable. That's what I was wet felting rugs with Sweet Pea's shorn wool. For years I did that. And I loved it. I totally loved it. Now the one thing I didn't do, but I learned to do, because at that time, a friend who was like a family member, she lent me her spinning wheel, actually, and which was a huge, like, very generous thing to do. And I learned to spin. So I do know how to spin wool, but I don't have a spinning wheel. But one day I will have one again. So, okay, this is the thing about wool too. The texture is, now this is a thinner spun wool than this. And of course, there's all different types of wools, right? And, you know, merino wool, the Icelandic wool, what is it, Norway or something like that. Anyway, what's happening here, I'm doing 2 double crochets in one space, and I'm doing a chain. It's getting to the point where it's very clear to me it's going to get floppy if I continue with the chain and the 2 double. So I'm just going to drop the chain and do some just double crochets, 2 double crochets in the next space, and in the very next space. So we'll see how this goes, and it should even out. And if you look at this is lovely, and you can see why you can meditate as you go along on the meaning, or use your chakra colors to help you meditate or reflect on um, your life, or on an issue, or just um, to clear your mind. Because once you clear it of all your thinking and cluttering and everything, then guess what? Then that, what they call the subconscious, I think they confuse people calling it that, but anyway, the other thoughts that are stored and ready to generate, which they call the subconscious, are able to come into your conscious, or you're able to give them attention. You're able to, as they say, think. But you must relax first. And then your mind can, then you can get into the realms of enlightenment and empowerment and appreciating and gratitude, and really, and forgiving, and really becoming and I gotta tell you, being resting, getting enough sleep, eating well, a lot of this has to do with your energy levels, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, cognitive, all of it. If you don't get adequate rest, you're not clear. You won't be able to be clear on a lot of things in life as you go along. You need rest. And okay, so this is how far we've gotten. So I'm really loving this. I think this is lovely. And so I kind of want to hold this other one up. You start seeing how very pretty. Now there's a couple of ways for those of you who are getting ready to connect your mandalas. Now, let me just talk to you a moment about that. Let me get the blanket here. There's a couple of ways. When I first started, this was the first blanket, so I had made with mandalas. I just created it because I wanted something to wrap around me with chakra colors to do my meditation. So I was doing a couple of things first. I was just crocheting the circles to the other circle. Okay, this was the first one I did. So, and then I was just building. So I was letting, excuse me, I was letting the edges just kind of flow whichever way they were going to flow. It was not, for me, creating this blanket was not like, wait a minute, I have to have all these circles in a rectangle or all these circles in a square. No, 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 no. This blanket we're making now together is only going to be 35 inch by 35 inch. Now, what I learned after I did this first one on my own, what I wanted to do, not what was out there, is if I want to, I can overlap these like this. Now, what could occur? So the more mandalas we get, okay, you'll be able to see, but so the next one we could put under here, right? Like that. And then the next one over. I mean, it's all in how you want to design it. Now, if you want to do them like what I did here, was edge the edges of the circles to the edges of the circle. And you kind of see a gap there. That's how I had gone back in and I was crocheting the little gaps together. I think I'm on the back side of this, sorry. But I was crocheting them together. There's so many different ways you can do it. There's no wrong, there's no right, okay? Because this is your blanket. So what I'm going to do, just to let you know, I am not connecting these as I go. I'm not. I am going to do, much like I do with my Boral Sashiko, you know, I lay out like all the patches and then I sew them. I'm going to do the same thing with my mandalas. I'm going to create all my mandalas, and then I'm going to like lay it out, see what it looks like, you know, measure it and whatnot. And I will measure the width and you know, I don't want it. Don't get me wrong when I'm talking about being creative and not going by the patterns. I don't want it to be sloppy. I don't want it to be, um, you know, like sloppily on an angle. I took great time for this to make sure that they were going, you know, that there was a width that was, uh, what do I want to say, straight. And then the length, the same thing. But so you lay them out, and then you continue. So you can overlap like that, or you can do like this. And that's, like I said, this is how I first was doing it. I was just attaching them like that, and it was frustrating. I'm going to tell you. By the time I got to like second and third, I kind of got the idea. Oh no, I'm gonna just overlap it. And at that point, people were asking, and I did actually sell a few. Yes, I did, and they were all in California. So if you're out there, California, thank you. But and we're back to the mandalas. So this is like what, 5-6 years later, if you're still out there. Okay, so with that, I hope that that gives you a good idea on what we're doing. And yeah, I just, because it's meditation, I just share a little bit with you how maybe a couple little perspectives. It's not like an absolute and this and that. I'm not, like I said, a corporate militant preacher. I'm just a humble little artist, just sharing with you some ideas on how I meditate and pray and walk with Jesus, and that is how I do it. And so anyway, with that, if you have any questions, let me know. I am happy to answer. Um, and yeah, it's the holidays over on I want to say, I guess Instagram, I should go over there too. But yes, I will be reading my Bridge of Life too, like parts of it, and then talking to you about building your inner spiritual constitution, so to speak, or what I've learned anyway on how to better navigate through life and keeping above a lot of the negativity and darkness and stress and uncertainty in this world today. I like to share that, so I'll be sharing it on Mella's vlog, and I'll be sharing it on TikTok and Instagram. And then we'll be back here. So because it's the holidays, though, I have to say, and the weather is so harsh, time is flying, because I do have other things I'm working on behind the scene, which I will share with you later. But it's making time go by even quicker. So if it seems like I'm not on here in like a day, oh, I'm absolutely heading this way. Don't you worry. But always, there's a few of you who email me, and I love to get your emails. I like to know what it is that you like and what you don't like and what you're doing. And all of that is so wonderful. I just love to hear it. And I love to share with the other artists, like the viewer who was inspired to make a rug, crochet a rug. And oh, this is the word she uses, and I love this word. And it's probably out there and I just don't know it, but she's calling it, I'm calling it creative crochet. She's calling it intuitive. And I think I had mentioned this a long time ago on this channel too, because she had mentioned it to me this past year. Intuitive crochet. So as you're going along, that's how she's making her rug. And that is really what I'm teaching you, because we're not using patterns. I'm teaching you to watch for your attention, to change and allow yourself to change your stitches when you want to, or yes, to create your own pattern and just be consistent with the stitches, but to watch for it tightening or whatever. But that is intuitive. Yes, creative crochet. So, and we're going to get really creative with these later on when we get a bunch of them made. We're going to come back and we're going to do stuff like this one. I love, love, love this. And I'll show you how I did that. Anyway, so with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful evening. Stay warm. It is very dangerous out there. As the temperatures are dropping, as I understand, Michigan, Missouri, and kind of going down even southeast and definitely up here northeast. So with that and with the holidays and everything, some people may feel compelled to drive at a distance to get a gift or something. Remember that a belated gift is better than no gift. So be safe. Be safe. With that, I send you love and light, and you have a beautiful evening.